This one's about the old Matthew versus John thing. The key to the Matthew versus John conflict is the one previously mentioned. Johns don't have to build or concern themselves with pyramid. I mean, we might have. It's a bit like Caesar, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. So that might be foisted upon us in a role, but that's not our thing. Because John see what God himself is building in real time, his own house, a temple not built with hands. It's Feast of Tabernacles, roof with holes. The best version, insofar as it was Jesus, John type role in the Gospels, because if you read attentively, even in the different Gospels, Jesus did Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John type things, speaking as the four living beings, these four main frequencies in which mankind works and operates. But his John thing was to have no concern for his own future family. Well, he never married. He never preserved a legacy in human ministry. Everybody left him at the cross, apart from the three that got his current ministry. And of course, everything changed after the cross anyway. But that wasn't what he was doing. That wasn't what he was here on earth for. It wasn't to build the Rick Joyner, Bill Johnson ministry. That's not what he was doing. The Holy Spirit was building Jesus a house to endure all times. Matthews have a high role in the current might is right order. Their role has been to hold things together in this old pyramid model just long enough while the real model shows itself. And of course, in different times in history, it already has. And so some of these posts I'm posting today will be about that. But for this to actually happen, people have to reach the end of themselves. Otherwise, you're together in the same room, but there's this skin, this condom over you, this mask, as Morris Cerullo used to say, this mask. You're there in the same room, but you're not really inside each other yet. You're too busy with your fig leaves. The Holy Spirit was building Jesus a house to endure all times. So yeah, I've said that, sorry. Now, Matthews cannot be seen to weaken. This is one of the strange things about the pyramid order. Matthews cannot be seen to weaken. There is some sort of strong codependency thing going on here with the pyramid structure and how its perception, its optics, its, being that firm figurehead, all this kind of stuff. So Matthews cannot be seen to weaken. Jesus allowed himself utter weakness. King David's Psalms are perceived by commentators as weakness, his moans and all this stuff. But to be fair to each psalm, however it starts, it's always looking to God by the end. David is writing real life of God forming his substance in man. While Bethel is still singing mushy praise in the cotton-wool studio of Charismatic Church Bethel and Bethel 2, being built at the moment, a bigger and better recording studio. The third level leaves the building, mainly because they are offensive to the Matthew-dominated pyramid order that has to save face. Now, who is leaving the building? Is it just the John people? Well, Johns are being always mightily pressured to extremes in all forms of present infrastructure, because all present infrastructure is on Genesis 3. It's in flesh. People try better and better representations of goodness, but no, who's connecting live with the Father today? Who's that? And being all that together. So it's not just like the Johns are leaving the building. It's just people people that don't want anymore to live in pyramid, but actually want to press into what on earth Ephesians 1:10 is on about. The administration suitable for the summing up of all times. But really, it began in Acts 2, didn't it? Began in Acts 2. So the third level leaves the building mainly because they're offensive to the Matthew-dominated pyramid order that has to save face. Jesus and David weren't in the saving face order. They're in the God-seeing order, seeing the building that God was building. Franz Kafka caught the thing that the fourth quartile are doing in his Metamorphosis Beetle story. And there's also the Fasting Showman story and the Penal Colony story. These are all short stories by Franz Kafka. David's psalms are very fasting showmen. Matthew perceives John's as whiny individuals. But at least some of what John's say is this beetle holding a mirror up to the other three quartiles. It's a role. It's a court jester thing. It's not who John's are. Jeremiah spent years mirroring Israel while yet in prison, but it wasn't him. When his role was over, Jeremiah walked free, while Judah and Israel were taken into prison, so to speak. Jesus' actual life was being made Lord of Lords and King of Kings in heaven. How it looked on earth was being numbered with the prisoners. The Melchizedek order is a completely different order. Third level ministry is based in Zoe life, in what is God doing today.